These days, it feels like every plugin company has some sort of subscription model. And honestly, sometimes I'm afraid to check my bank account at the end of the month. In this video, I'm going to be showcasing a range of free plugins. And by the end of this video, I'm confident you'll have some new tools to add to your arsenal. So let's dive straight in. And I wanted to start one of my favorites, Pianbook. This isn't just a single plugin, but a massive resource of user-created and uploaded virtual instruments. And right now there's well over 1,500 instruments available. And they've got everything from beautifully recorded pianos to strings, guitars, synths, and so much more. And obviously, as there's so many of them, I haven't been able to try all of them out, but here's a few of my favorites. So first up, we've got the King's Upright Piano. One of my go-to pianos. If you've seen any of my videos before, I use this all the time. Then there's this really nice organ which has been put through a tape loop. Lovely sound. And then a 12-string harp, very medieval sounding. And a nice Fender Rhodes as well. There's so many more, but this is just a few I wanted to show you. Right, if you love analog synth sounds, Disco DSP's OBXD is a must-have. Inspired by legendary Oberheim synths, it brings that warmth and analog sound you'd expect straight into your DAW. Whether you're after lush pads, fat basses, or classic leads, it's got everything you're looking for, all while keeping things simple and intuitive. So it looks just like the hardware synth. Super simple design, and it's got some really great, like analog sounding synths in there, pads, some really good leads and basses. And I absolutely love this brass sound. Right, time for a quick break. If you're into soulful samples, I've just released my new pack, Secret Sauce Volume 1, which features 10 compositions with stems, perfect to inspire your next track. You can grab that on the link in the description. And I've also got a free sample pack again. If you want to try that out, that's going to be in the description. Right, back to the plugins. Now, if you haven't heard of Spitfire Labs, I would be very surprised. But for those who have managed to miss it, Labs is a free plugin from Spitfire Audio featuring a collection of virtual instruments. From strings to pads to percussion, there's a bit of everything in there. And here are a few of my favorites. So this is Labs. And if you click Get More Packs, you can see all the packs that are available. There's free ones, loads of those. And if you want to pay for some, they've also got the Labs Plus. Again, some really nice sounds in there. And this is the tape piano. Each plugin's got a few different sounds, and you can tweak those as well. Yeah, the pianos in here sound great. And also, I really love the choir sounds. I use these quite a lot. For something a little bit more experimental, you can check out Cradle's Statemachine BitFlip. It's designed to generate retro gaming inspired sounds, but it's so much more than just that. From quirky keys to lush pads to unique leads, it's got a bit of everything. Plus there's some amazing built-in effects that add even more character. So you're gonna get some really weird sounds from this one. Really distorted. But if you're looking for that, weirder kind of synth sound, this is perfect for that. And like I said, the effects are really nice as well. There's a nice bit crusher in there and also some really nice reverb. Now this next one's really interesting. It's a neural synthesizer called Magenta DDSP, and it uses machine learning to emulate live instruments. And there's 10 different models, including flutes, violins, trumpets, saxophone, and more. And what's cool with Magenta DDSP is you can load it onto an audio channel and then use the different models to change the sound of the audio. So you can turn a vocal into a flute or a saxophone. And I think the best way for me to show you what it does is to just jump into Logic and use it. So I've got this vocal I recorded. Ooh, ooh, apologies for the pitchiness. When I turn the plugin on, it's on the trumpet mode. Then you've got the sitar mode. And a tuba. Doesn't always sound like the sound you're going for, but it does create some really nice, interesting textures for sure. Right, moving on to effects, we've got a company that offers multiple free plugins that go by the name of Freakshow Industries. And honestly, these plugins are absolutely wild. And the creators describe these as subversive and ridiculous audio effects, and they're not exaggerating. There's 6 free plugins in total, and my personal favorites are Backmask, Pocket Dimension, and Mishby. And these are kind of like multi-effects plugins capable of creating some really weird sounds. And honestly, the best way for me to show you what they do is to just dive in and demonstrate them. So let's take a look at those. So the first one we've got is Backmask. If we turn that on, you can already hear it's got a kind of reverse effect with a delay. And like I said, I don't know what any of these buttons do, but they all do something. Then we got Mishby. And you just have to play around with these. None of the knobs are really labeled, but they all do something interesting. And then finally we got Pocket Dimension. You press the little I, and it takes your sound into a weird other world. And by the way, if you're always on the lookout for new free plugins, we've been building a database of the best ones over the last couple of years. It's updated every week, so you'll always have new tools to try out. And if you want access to that, just sign up to our mailing list and we'll send the link straight to your inbox. And the sign up link for that is in the description. Right, moving on to number 7, we've got 2 amazing plugins from Spectral Audio, OCS 45 and Panks. OCS 45 is a cassette sim, and I honestly think it might be the best free one out there. It's amazing at adding that warm analog tape sound to your productions. Panks, on the other hand, is a multi-band transient shaper, and that uses advanced audio processing to help sculpt and shape your sound. And whether you want to add punch to your drums or tighten up your bass line, it's a super versatile tool. So first up, OCS 45. If we turn that on, straight away you can hear that tape effect. There's some nice presets in there. Which you can just go through and find what you like. And then with Panks, again, the presets in here are really good. You can get some really interesting sound for your drums or any other sound. Right, if you're chasing that analog sound, Analog Obsessions plugins are a must. They're a company dedicated to developing audio plugins that emulate the sound of vintage analog studio gear. From EQs to saturators to channel strips, there's a huge amount of plugins to choose from, which they describe as giving a second life to your lifeless tracks. Let me show you exactly what that can do. So with Relife, we'll turn it on, and we want to bring up the life and the shape. And it's just going to add a few dBs in the mids and the highs. Just bring out the character of the track. Really simple, but really effective. Next up, we've got the Kilohertz Essentials Bundle, a collection of 30 plugins that cover everything from flanges to EQs to transient shapers and everything else in between. And what I love about these plugins is their simple design and their intuitive interface, making them really quick and easy to use. And let's dive in and take a quick look at some of my favorites from them. So I just wanted to show you 3 plugins from Kilohertz. First up, we've got the filter. It's got a low pass, high pass, band pass. Like I said, really easy to tweak and use. Next up, the Bit Crusher. Again, it's a pretty standard bit crusher, but it sounds really nice and it's really easy to tweak. And finally, my favorite, Tape Stop. Again, so simple, but a really cool effect that you can add to your tracks. Last but not least, we have Lese Codec, and this plugin takes a really unique look at lo-fi processing, in particular emulating internet compression artifacts instead of using tape or vinyl. It's got some really interesting features and it creates a really unique sound. So let's jump in and check that out. So this one works really by changing the bit rate. So the higher the bit rate, the better the quality of the sound. We bring it down really low. You can hear that sort of like crackly internet effect. If we turn the loss up again, you're losing part of the audio. can add a little bit of crunch. And also there's a vocal and a music setting, so you can choose between those two. So hopefully you've discovered some new plugins to explore and some new sounds to add to your collection. Let me know in the comments what are some of your favorite free plugins. Let's turn this comment section into an amazing resource of all the best free plugins. And also, if you're a producer or a musician, I've just launched my own Discord community. It's a friendly space where you can share your music, collaborate, ask questions, and I'd love to see a few of you there. And if you'd like to join that, you can find the link in the description.